goals, right? So current trends, challenges, and opportunities for the organization when reporting about SDGs. So integration of SDGs into GRI standard 2021, that is the latest updated version of GRI, and four-step approach for facilitating integration. How the integration of SDGs in sustainability report can be facilitated. So actually, as a sustainable development, before starting this, I will like to inform you that all GRI standards, these are perpetually available free of cost on their website. GRI Academy is there, and then GRI website you can download any standards. So while we go through the presentation, we'll talk about the structure of the standards also, how these are how these are to be used. A broad overview of that will be given. So when we talk about SDGs, now it is a collection of 17 interlinked. Okay. So 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. The 2030 agenda, because now these have been planned for 2016 to 2030. Before that, what was there, we'll discuss in the next slide. So the 2030 agenda for sustainable development was adopted by all 193 United Nations member states in 2015. These goals call for an urgent action by all the countries in a global partnership. So they recognize that ending poverty and other deprivations must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth. So all while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. So these are basically 17 goals. First is no poverty. Second is zero hunger. Third is good health and well-being. Fourth is quality education. Fifth is gender equality. Sixth is clean water and sanitation. Seventh is affordable and clean energy. Eighth is decent work and economic growth. Ninth, industry innovation and infrastructure. 10th is reduce inequalities. So these are, in their names, these are, self-explanatory, because we have to cover a lot of, part of the presentation. So then we are, just going by their name, and they are self-explanatory. So 11th goal is sustainable cities and communities. So whatever, the standard, if you see, their objective is to remove inequality. Considering that indigenous people are not, put to the they are not losing in any of the activities. So indigenous people are being taken care of, and then responsible consumption and production. If the consumption should be in such a manner, use should be in such a manner that we are not reaching a tipping point. Tipping point is a point wherein, without, at that point, that is such a threshold, it is called a tipping point, that beyond that, if you cross, you will not be able to, make the extinction of certain species possible. So they will, on their own, they will extinct if that tipping point has been reached. So that is the objective, that consumption should be responsible, and production has also to be sustainable. Then climate action. Climate action, will it have its effect? There are two-way effect. One is the temperature. By temperature, it is melting, snow is melting, water level rising. And another important aspect of the global warming is that we have lot of volume of water in sea and oceans. So whenever there is incremental temperature, that volume also expands. So it is a double effect. It is not only the melted snow that has come into the oceans. That is one part. But with every rising 0.1 degree centigrade temperature, maybe less than that, 0.05 degree centigrade temperature also, the volume is so huge that it also expands and cause further, inundation. It will cause in the low-lying areas. So that is second part of the effect of the global warming. One is snow is melting, another is the expansion of water also happening. That will also raise the level of the ocean. So then life below water, then life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnership for the goals. So sustainability development goals, the SDGs are the blueprint for achieving a better and more sustainable future. Sustainable means sustainability. What does it mean? That we have to use the resources in a manner that we are not depriving our future generation uh, from these available resources or the activities they want to do. So in that manner, if we have to consider, we just can't think that we are leaving those resources for our future generation. In actual, we have lent it from them, so we are using their resources. So ultimately, time will come when younger generation will, may not be deprived of any of such resources. So that is called the sustainable use of material, and they address the global challenges we face: ending poverty, reducing inequalities, tackling climate change. The 17 goals and 169 targets are all interconnected and must be implemented by 2030. So that will, in the next slide we'll see the before that what was there. So there are 17 set of goals, SDGs. There are 169 targets and 232 indicators. How these are, this can be accessed. What are the targets? So suppose for goal 1 we are considering here. So end poverty in all its forms everywhere. That is the goal. That is the first goal of SDGs, right? Uh, Then in this, these are the targets set by 2030: eradicate extreme poverty for all people everywhere, currently measured as people living on less than $1.25 a day, or maybe decided at any point of time, it can be changing also. So the SDGs have been designed up to 2030. So it is written here also 2030 agenda. So the same way, sorry, you have these targets on left side. These are the targets for goal 1. And how many targets are there? Total 169. So out of that, so these 5 targets are in goal 1, and same way, for different type of goals, 17 goals across the goals, these 169 targets are distributed. And on right side, you see the indicators, because you have a you have a goal, you have a target. But how to measure the performance of the target? You have to have some indicator. So these indicators are also there for. So in all, there are 232 indicators for all the 17 goals. So and then if you see the indicators, then 1.1 is proportion of population below the international poverty line by sex, age, employment status, and geographical location. So if you start, following this or monitoring this, so you can know that where we are placed after passing 1 year, another year. So if you have some indicator, then only it will be possible to demonstrate that there is some improvement. If we do not have an indicator, so how do we measure that? So same way, there are n number of indicators for each goal, and like the number of, see 1.5.1, for example, if we take number of deaths, missing person, and person affected by disaster per 1 lakh people of population. So this is an indicator. So if you don't have this indicator, how will you know? So it will capture the population also, the variation in population also, and other factors also. It will the population related parameter it will capture, and it will give you a level playing field where you can compare it properly. So otherwise, if we do not have an indicator, so if some people are from energy side, you have EPI, energy performance indicator, that tells you that across different buildings what is the kWh per square meter per annum consumption, right? So same way, these are the indicators, and total indicators are 232 numbers. So this again is explanation of one goal, 13 targets are there. So what is the background of sustainable development goals? The SDGs did not appear overnight. They build on the foundation laid by the UN Millennium Development Goals. So up to 2015, 2000 to 2015. So there were, UN Millennium Development Goals, and established in 2000. These were 8 goals only that all UN member states agreed to try to achieve by the year 2015. So these SDGs seek to complete the unfinished business of the MDGs. MDGs means Millennium Development Goals, and respond to new challenges. So they are broader in scope and address a wider range of interconnected topics across economic, social, and environmental dimension of sustainable development, as well as peace and partnership. So MDGs were intended for action only in developing countries. So on the contrary, SDGs are universal and call for action by all countries. So these were prepared for developing countries only, MDGs. And a core feature of the SDG is their strong focus on means of implementation, meaning the mobilization of financial resources, as well as capacity building at technology, data, and institutions. This is unlike MDGs. MDGs were not having these provisions. So if we see, how these are connected. So here there were, 8 MDGs, and how these are connected. This is given here. So this 7 number, if I see, is affordable and clean energy. This is 7 here, but here it is 14. Sorry. So this 7 is ensure environmental sustainability. So for ease of the understanding, and this chart has been prepared. I mean, the whole table has been prepared, and the connected or the interconnected MDG and sustainable development goals are given in the same color, right? And there are about 8 SDGs: 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 16. So these are all together new. These were not part of the MDGs earlier. So from here we can see the linkages. These are all 8 MDGs, and these are sustainable development goals. 3, 3, 6, 8, 9 are connected with 8 MDGs, and but the 8 number of SDGs are completely new. And what are these? Clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovations and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. So you should be now able to understand that how which MDG is presently connected to the SDGs. So what was the tenure of the MDG? 2000 to 2015, and this is 2016 to 2030. It is 2016 to 2030 is the SDGs tenure which has been fixed. So after 2030, there may be some new things start coming, but these are targeted to be implemented during the course of 2016 to 2030. So this again, it is written here that these are all completely new and thus marked red. Human rights and SDGs, because ultimately whatever we are doing here, we are doing for the human being. Ultimately our concern is for the human being, because what is the concern of the planet? So people are the concern of the planet, and over 90% of the SDG goals and targets correspond to the human rights obligation. So if you see, so it's not that when we take the example, how these are connected with which parameter, then we'll see that one SDG is connected to the multiple SDGs are contributing to a particular attribute. Then why should organization engage with the SDGs? Why should we do that? And what are the challenges organization face? There are 2 major challenges: not knowing whether their activities have any SDG related impacts. If you start seeing, then everybody can find that a lot of the activities one is conducting is somehow impacting. If you are wasting food, you are impeding the achievement of the no hunger all through the globe. So there are so many things if you start thinking, but the organization do not know whether their activities have an SDG related impact. That is the first challenge. And another challenge is not knowing how they can influence the achievement of the SDGs. So they do not know, how these can be, actually achieved. So why should organization integrate sustainability into their business processes? The SDGs provide a common framework of action and a shared purpose. The benefits of integrating sustainability into your business strategy. What are the benefits: it provides business opportunities and innovative solutions. It helps identify new markets and efficiency gains, because there are positive outcome also of adhering to SDG, and there may be cost involved in when we are adhering to the sustainable development goals. So when new markets are identified, and there are efficiency gains, if we are trying to do the improvement in energy efficiency. So because energy efficiency is altogether a different set of management system, or otherwise when we are conducting audit, the stakeholder tend to gain directly by saving of the energy. So this, they will have this advantage. Then risk management will be possible, because now if the ESG reporting, if you know about that, so now even the venture capital funding is not being done if you are not reporting on your sustainability, because they want that they want to see if you have managed all your risks related with your organizations. Because if you you have not identified certain risk, and something goes wrong during the course of the time, then they will also be at loss, the venture capital organization. So they will also be not able to recover their loans which have been provided to you. It strengthens stakeholder relationship, because you have to see you have to see your business relations also, then the customers also, the government also. So then amongst the different stakeholders, relationship is strengthened, and it helps to keep up with the policy requirement and regulation. So like policy requirement, if you some of the, you understand about the ESG and the BRSR, then there in India now there is BRSR reporting system required. The in SEBI, the top 1000 company are required to give their annual BRSR report. BRSR is business responsibility and sustainability report. Business responsibility and sustainability report. And out of the 250 top one, they have to give the assurance also. Assurance means they have to get the audit to see the materiality of the report. And same way, it will be expanded to other organizations also. So slowly, it takes its uh, it goes deeper into the system. Now, sustainability reporting and the SDGs. Sustainability reporting creates accountability and demonstrates a commitment. So if you are committed to report sustainability, so then it is accountability, and commitment has to be there. It supports sustainable decision making at all levels within a company. All level means for purchases also, for your procurement also, and for selection of your suppliers, your business relations also. You are selecting in such a manner that you remain sustainable. If you have two options, and if you see that one is the better sustainable company, so some weightage will definitely be given to that, and you have uh, sustainable decision making at all levels for all activities there. It enables internal and external stakeholders to assess corporate performance effectively. Internal stakeholder are the people who are directly working in the company, working in the system. And external stakeholder can be lot many other people, neighbors, society, and the maybe your business relations which are not directly under your control. And it can shape business strategy. So it drives internal performance improvements, channels financial resources, and increases investments. It encourages partnerships and collaboration. So sustainability reporting help advance the SDGs. How reporting has a positive effect on the SDGs. Organizations impact the world with their business activities. They disclose impacts by integrating the SDGs into their reporting. So there is a uniform way how the people can understand your sustainability report, because when it is a sustainability report which is given by not making any linkage to the SDG. So SDG, when it is linked to the SDG, so people can understand and people can compare also, and what is the level of improvement and in relation to the SDGs. Then investment community assess sustainability reports and makes informed decisions. So whenever an investment company want to make investment in the company, they will go through the sustainability report, and they can be assured of it that nothing will go wrong in the future, and every possible uncertainty that has been factored in their study and reporting. So investor channels capital to responsible businesses. So they will definitely like to invest in only the responsible businesses. So same way, responsible business, BRSR reporting has started in India, and it is mandatory for top 1,000 people only because of this obvious reason. And then after that, when everything is becoming sustainable, the global contribution to sustainable development will happen. So how sustainable reporting help organizations? So it is kickstarting companies understanding their SDG contribution, providing global guidance as a common approach to achieving the 2030 agenda that we have spoken about, that helping companies identify gaps as opportunities for improvement, and easing data comparability with other companies. So we'll see that there, out of the 8 principles, there are 3 main principles which are to be considered. We'll see when we move through our presentation. So that will be included there, comparability. So helping companies link SDGs to business performance. So SDGs can be, how the performance can be evaluated based on that. So this is again, a snapshot of it. Encourages companies, especially large and transitional companies, to adopt sustainable practices and to integrate sustainability information into the reporting cycle. This is about goal 12. So just for example, it has been included here. Goal 12 is ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. So target 12.6 is this. This is goal, this is target. Then there will be 12-6-1, 2, 3 will be the what indicator. So this is just you can yourself review your understanding, and time is very short. We will not be able to take any feedback. In yourself, you can see that what are the 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the correct, and note it down, and then you can compare ultimately. Third is the right answer. So now second is that why is reporting on SDG important? So is it not important? No, it is important. The SDGs we are including because they look nice in the report. No, this is not correct. It helps companies achieve sustainable development. This is the right answer. And another is it helps organizations see and track positive and negative impacts their business operations have. So 1 and 2 is the right answer, and these are not the correct answer. So that is just for your discussion. So there's an KPMG report. Based on the that report, there are some findings that 5 countries, Thailand, Japan, Mexico, Spain, and Sweden, they are performing at the top level. They are top 5 countries that connect business activity with SDGs. Thailand is also one of the countries. Thailand, Japan, Spain, and Sweden. So these 5 countries are connecting their business activity with SDGs. So in the findings, it has been seen that 69% of the organizations connect to the SDGs in their sustainability reports, and 11 countries have 70% or more companies referring to the SDGs. So this is now, how SDGs most and least prioritized by the N100 is actually, there are 52 countries, and the top 100 companies have been considered for, preparation of this document. So priority wise, most prioritized SDGs are decent work and economic growth, climate action, responsible consumption and production, affordable and clean energy, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. If you see these directly people see tangible benefit of these. So same way, the priorities have been set in that manner only. So affordable and clean energy will definitely reduce your GHG also. And if in some countries there is carbon taxation will be reduced. So that kind of things are there. The responsible consumption means if you are consuming low, then automatically saving is coming to you. But climate action, definitely 63% companies are reporting about climate action also, the SDGs related with that. And moderately prioritized are good health and well-being, gender equality, quality education, sustainable citizen communities, reduce inequalities, clean water and sanitation, and partnership for the goals. And the least prioritized, which is, reported by 30% or lower, fewer companies: no poverty, peace, justice, and strong institution; zero hunger, life below water, life on land. So people actually, think that they may not have the understanding that their, activities are also causing something adverse to the life below water or life on land. So maybe that could be the reason. The poverty also they are not considering to be their business. So only 30% are reporting on that, and 70% are not reporting. So current challenges in corporate reporting on the SDGs. With the main findings, 86% of the companies choose a one-sided approach and report only on positive contribution, because we have positive contributions also and there may be negative contributions also. So company prefer 86% of the companies prefer to only report the positive contributions, not the negative ones. And half the companies disclose performance goals. Means, what are their targets? So if you give your targets and you have not achieved, so it will be again, a negative kind of thing. So only half the companies are disclosing about the performance goals, or you can say the targets. So what target they had made and what could they achieve. So achievement they have to report in any case. So they are not disclosing their targets, they are just disclosing about, suppose they have in any parameter, if they are targeted to improve by 10% and the actual improvement is only 2%. So but reporting that 2% would be comfortable. But if they say that against 10 it is 2%, it will not be appreciated by the people. So this is the framework of GRI standards. So this also you need to understand, because for materiality assessment, the sector standard and topic standard would be used. So this is universal standard. This is used for reporting requirement and principles for using the GRI standard. Because we will be taking a case of a sector standard also, how these the all the parameters are related to different activities related to the SDGs. So you need to understand what these standards are if somebody is altogether new to GRI. So universal standard is one, GRI 1. These three standards have to be used for reporting of sustainable preparation of GRI based sustainability report. So GRI 1 is requirement and principles for using the GRI standard. GRI 2 is disclosing about reporting organization, and GRI 3 is disclosure and guidance about the organization material topic. Material topics means which are significant to the activities of the organization. Which are causing maximum impact and which cannot be ignored. So in sector standard, this number is given up to say 8, but only presently 3 standards are available. One standard is oil and gas sector, another is your coal sector, and third is agriculture sector. So these sectors are the standards for these sectors are under preparation, and they will keep adding. GRI will keep adding as and when they are ready. So the work is going on many sector specific standards. And you have topic standards also. There are about 40 topic standards which are available, and available you can check on the website, and you can download also by just giving information about your email and some basic required inputs for downloading this. So but it is perpetually free, no charges for this. And if you are doing some certification though, then there actually there are fees for that. But if you want to use these standards, so these are perpetually free and you can download them and use them. So these are topic standard. If in universal standard, suppose if you are doing some reporting which is not covered in this sector standard, then you have to follow the topic standard, whichever closest possible is available in the topic standards. So materiality and all material topics are given for all the topic standards, for all the sector standard also it is. So there is a GRI standard to report on your contribution to the SDGs. And it is 4-step approaches. Step 1 is understand the organization context. Context is basically we'll go through that. So the location of the company, size of the company, activities of the company, and other things. And then step 2 would be to identify the impacts. What are the impact, positive, negative, intended, unintended, or like that? There are different. That also we'll see. So step 3 is assess the significance of the It is assess actually. Assess the significance, not excess. Assess the significance of impacts, and step 4 is prioritize the most significant one for your reporting, because you cannot take up all impacts at the same time and start improvement on that. So Pareto principle, you will also always see that you can by making 20% of the effort, you want to achieve 80% of the outcome. So for that you need to prioritize. So in order of the priority from higher to lower, then you can start working on improvement. So this is again, first step is understanding the context, identify impacts, access the significant, then last will be to prioritize. So understanding the organization's context. So what is the sector you operate in? That is the first requirement. If you want to understand the context of the organization, the sector it is operating in must be known. How big is the organization? Where is the organization located? Which is the location of the organization? And what are the types of business relationship you have? Business relationship, we have already discussed that your tier 1, 2 suppliers, your contractors, and your all type of suppliers are your business relationship. You may be having direct control over them or may not be having direct control over them, but those definitely cause that they affect your performance, sustainability performance. So what are sustainable development challenges at local, regional, and global levels that could apply to your organization? So that will depend upon the size of the organization. If an organization is operating globally, then it becomes a bit more complex, because there may be legal requirement, other requirement for different country wise, so all have to be addressed. So whenever we are reporting on any standard, so the legal requirement of the local jurisdictions is never ignored, and this cannot be ignored. They have to be followed. So if you are doing it at local, there is only one branch of one single branch company is there, so then it is a bit easier. If it is regional, then number of branches will be more. Same way, global level, the complexity will increase. So this we have already seen here. So this is about reporting principles. So there are 8 reporting principles. If we are reporting on sustainability, standard reporting, and same way, when we are linking SDGs to the sustainability report, so these principles are accuracy. Report has to be accurate, and the data should be verifiable. And balance means that you have to strike a balance between you just, as we have seen that 86% of the organizations are reporting only on the positive impacts, not the negative. So that would not be very good acceptable report for sustainability. So you have to strike a balance between that you are reporting positive as well as negative also. And then there should be clarity on what you are reporting. So it should not be ambiguous. It should be clearly able to be understood by the stakeholders to whom this sustainability report is presented, or who are the who are interested in knowing about the sustainability performance of the organization. Then comparability, that word had come earlier also, that you should be able to compare your report across the organizations, and also year on year also your own performance should be measurable. It should not happen that in 1 year you have made certain indicators and you change the indicators in the next report. So then it won't remain relevant and comparable. Then it should be complete, and we'll be three of the principles which are in bold text. So these are more important, and we'll discuss these in a bit more detail. So sustainability context, the word you already understand. The timeliness, if you are reporting data of 3 years back at this point of time, will not have any a good value, because what can you do, of what use it will be for you if you are reporting after 3 years your old data. So you will not be able to take corrective action at the right point of time. So there has to be timeliness also, and the sustainability report should be at the back end with your takeoff sheets and all. It should be very verifiable, that if you are reporting certain your GHG intensity, so is it verifiable, or just out of blue you have uh, committed some figure which cannot be verified. So this is, how this is from one oil and gas sector. It is in the document. From there only it has been taken. So if you see, these are the 17 SDGs, and because these are not readable, so from number only I have prepared a, I have noted it here so that it can easily be read and understood. Suppose one we see no poverty. If we see want to see 14, it is life below water. So that way it has been, for clear understanding. This has been done. So if you see now GHG emissions. So GHG emission, if you see, it is because the most interesting thing is that you need to understand that one of your activity could be causing more than impacting more than one SDG. So that is very interesting to note. And then see, this is impacting 13 and 14. So GHG emission 13 and 14 is climate action and life below water. Both these SDGs will be impacted. So if we see from here that if you want to see that goal number 1 is how many activities are impacted by this, you can move vertically. And if you see, in some of these, the colors are matched for, and so that there is no ambiguity. So land and resource right, if we see. So land and resource right is impacting 2 as well as 11 and also 1. So land and resource rights. So somehow, literally it can impact the poverty also if the rights are not, right of the indigenous people are, compromised. So they will have, they may lose their livelihoods. So those kind of things they can be the impacts. So same way, if you can see the employment practices, it is impacting 5 SDG goals. 1, poverty. 4th is quality education, and 5th is gender equality, sorry, and 8th is decent work and economic growth. If employment, if people are unemployed, they cannot have this. Economic growth will be impacted, and the same way, number 10, reduce inequalities. So inequality, if the employment is provided, then inequality will reduce. So this way, you can find in, topic standard also you can find such for your understanding and knowledge. These are all as per the standard, sector standard requirement of oil and gas. So this can be a guiding document, and you can have something beyond that also. But these are the, all the material topics have been covered in this. So material activities have been covered, and their impact has also been mapped. Clear? So then sustainability context is when reporting on your impacts in this step, use objective information and authoritative measures on sustainable development. Objective information, you understand that, this can't be, there has to be specific, data which you are relying upon. Then report in relation to sustainable development and goals, and conditions. Then report in relation to social expectations. Then report in relation to local context. So here is what you need to take into account regarding this principle. Use objective information. Use report information about your impacts in relation to sustainable development goals and conditions. Report on your impacts in relation to societal expectations and expectations of responsible business conduct. Set out in authoritative intergovernmental instruments with which you are expected to comply. If operating in a large location, report information about your impacts in relation to each local context. So this is very important. This we had discussed at that time. So if you are operating in multi jurisdictions across the country, then impacts in relation to each local context has to be, because your organization or your setup can be in a water stressed area. So if you are in a water stressed area, you will have your different concerns. So at some of the places, maybe near the coastal lines, so the availability of water table can be different. So you have to local context has to be factored into your reporting. So that is the main point which we need to consider. What question we need to consider? What are the SDGs that you think relate to the organization? This is for context. Step one, we have come. How do the targets in these SDGs relate to your organizations? So at some point of time, there can be some, non-linear slides also. But but overall, the effort has been made to make you understand in 1 hour whatever best we can do that. So how do the targets in the SDGs relate to your organizations? SDGs, relation of the SDGs and relation of the targets which are there in these SDGs, because ultimately SDGs in itself will not be able to guide you to great level. So for that, the targets which are there in individual SDG is very important. And then how will you track the performance? The performance shall be tracked by checking on the indicators that are established. What are the targets that your organization can critically influence? That has also to be identified. Which targets can you advance by applying your organization capability in new ways? Which of the SDG targets that you previously prioritized are linked to other targets? So you have to see that you may not be only targeting for only a single target. So there can be multiple SDGs also, and multiple targets could be there based on that. So how can you understand the context from different sources? Information can be used for identification of the impacts, legal reviews, anti-corruption compliance management system, financial audits, occupational health and safety inspection, shareholder filings, other assessment of business relationship carried out by the organization or by industry or multi-stakeholder initiatives. So then when you are identifying impacts, so what is important is the degree of involvement. How the organization is involved, at what degree the involvement is there, whether it is actually causing or the organization is contributing to, like withdrawing water from a water stress aquifer causes a negative effect on SDG 6. So it is directly causing. Contributing to means excessive overtime for the suppliers workers negatively contributes to SDG 8. So that means their health will will be impacted. So that will be the contributing, and there can be some in some point it can be failing to take action, and sometimes it be directly linked to working with suppliers that use child labor is directly linked to SDG 8. So this is a linkage, that if your supplier is using child labor, that somehow you are contributing negative impact to the SDGs. So full spectrum of impacts can be, it can be negative or positive. So positive impact are which are good, and negative impact which are causing not good to the systems, planet, people, or whosoever are the stakeholders. It can be actual impact or potential impact. Actual potential means actually which is at present, which is this is the extent impact which is there at the present. A potential which may happen in the future times. So that will be the potential. So in potential, if you are measuring, then you have to see the scale, scope, and then the probability also, and different type of probability, because this is too short a time. So there is qualitatively you can have the probability, and also quantitatively. So based on that, you can assess your potential impacts also, short term or long term. Short term or long term means that a particular impact is happening for very short time only, or it will have a consequential effect also. So it is intended means that the process of the organization is that you cannot avoid it, then it becomes intended, or unintended because by virtue of the negligence or not properly handling the waste, or suppose electronic waste is not handled as per the laid down procedures. So then it will be an intended effect, because there is already a procedure. If it is not known to the people that this can impact in the climate in some manner, or it can impact the uh, society in some manner. So that will be unintended. Reversible is the impact which can be reversed with some improvement actions. So irreversible is like if you have already released some gases into atmosphere, so you cannot capture them back. They will have its own effect the way they travel to the different areas. How to identify your negative impact? That is to identify the most severe negative impacts and the SDGs target to which these impacts relate. This is what you need to do. The aim is to identify opportunities to prevent, mitigate, or remediate them and influence the SDGs. How to do it in practice? It include both actual and potential negative impacts. So actual which are happening at present and which can happen in future, both have to be included. Do not forget about impact linked to your business relationships. That means, I mean, not only directly under you, you may be having business relation tier 1 to 3 suppliers, your transporter, or whosoever is the entity you are engaging to conduct your business. That all will be your business relationships. So communicate with your internal and external stakeholders. So stakeholders, uh, any entity which is affected by companies or an organization's operations is this stakeholder. It may be government also. It may be workers also. Internal stakeholder, external stakeholders can be your business relations, and your neighbors also could be sometimes affected. They will also be external stakeholders. So that way you have to communicate with internal and external stakeholders. This is very important. And same way for positive impacts, what you need to do, identify SDG target you can best contribute to through your activities and business relations. The aim is to ensure that these activities are developed and delivered in ways that minimize any negative impacts. So how to do it? Consider any existing product services that can be scaled or tailored to address the SDGs, and look beyond the SDGs that might seem closest to your company's core business. Prioritization enable the organization to take action to address its impacts and to determine its material topics for reporting. So material topic means most significant topics. So how to assess if a negative impact is significant? The significance of an actual negative impact is based on severity of the impact. The significance of a potential negative impact is based on severity as well as likelihood, probability. And severity of a negative impact is based on scale, scope, and irremediable character. If the it will be considered to be the most severe if it is irremediable character or irremediable nature. So it has to be given the top priority. So how to assess if a negative impact is significant? Prioritize risk to people and the environment. Base it on the impact severity and likelihood. So prioritize risk to people and the environment. So this is important. So if it is causing risk to the people and the environment ultimately be affecting all the other people also. So because today whatever the greenhouse gas effect or that depletion of ozone layer and whatever we have experiencing. So all across the world, some developed countries have caused substantial pollution, but it is impacting the life of the other people also who have not been. There are people who have still about 60 crores of people on the earth still do not have electrical connection. This is the present data. So, but they are also impacted in terms of the health or the pollution or the global warming. So everybody is impacted. So risks which are related to the people and environment have to be prioritized. And links prioritize risk to SDG target. The link between risk and SDG is not always obvious. Some risks might be linked to multiple SDGs that we have already seen. So positive impact, scale and scope. And if it is a potential positive impact, then scale, scope, and likelihood will come when it is future impact. Bhavna, are you there? What extra time we can take?
So you can continue for more 10 minutes and then we will be having.
Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, fine. I'll try to. cover it in next 10 minutes. So prioritize the most significant impacts for reporting. What question you have to ask yourself, that how do you do the prioritization? Which are the most and the least significant impacts your organization has? So what are the priority SDG targets that have been highlighted by your stakeholders? So whenever some human impact is there, that has to be prioritized. We have already seen that. So how it is done in practice, there is aspect, there is boundaries of the, particular, operational value chain SDG. Then what is the evidence of interest? Like, greenhouse gas emission, it is high. Evidence of financial impact is also high. Forward looking, yes. For future, so management of scope 1, 2, and 3 greenhouse gases. So it is high materiality for the chemical industries. So it, depending upon the type of your sector, it will be, that effect will vary. How to connect the SDGs and the GRI topic standards. Topic standards, we have three type of standards. GRI, one universal standard, another is sector standard, and third is topic standard. So all GRI topic standards can be connected to the SDGs, yes, but not each disclosure may have a link to an SDG. So it may not be linked to the an SDG, but all GRI topic standards can be connected to the SDGs. So this is economic performance. This is standard of topic standard economic performance 2016. So based on this is GRI 201 standard. So this 8, 9, 13 is impacted. So 2011 said direct economic value generated and distributed, definite benefit plan obligation, other retirement plans, financial implication. These are the applicable effects. Same way you have water and effluent 2018 standard. So this the year which has been given. So when the topic standard was published or made available to the public, economic performance is released in 2016. So and this is the name of the topic standard. Numbering serial number of the topic standard is GRI 201. Okay. So when you have 3-digit number, it will be a topic standard. And 303 is water and effluents. So same way, this is impacting two SDGs: clean water and sanitation, responsible consumption and production. So let's have a look at another GRI standard, one related to the environment. GRI 303 water and effluent. It contains 5 disclosures. Interaction. These are the disclosure. Interaction with water as a shared resource. Management of water discharge related impacts. Water withdrawal, water discharge, water consumption. The topic standard is linked to 2 SDG goals. SDG 6 is clean water and sanitation, and SDG 12 responsible consumption and production. So thank you very much. We have been able to complete. Now we can take questions if somebody has, and we'll try to we have tried to run a bit, but we could complete it in. So yes, now floor is for you, Bhavna. Tell us.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Satvinder ji. That was a nice presentation and a very eye-opening one. Like what is the importance of this SDGs in actual scenario also.
Yes.
Reporting is one thing, but in real life also, like this plays a very big role in our life for sustainable earth.
Yeah.
Now I open there are questions, and so first question is from Mr. Amit Sharma. He is asking, as we all know that every country has its own way of working environment and resource adequacy. So his question is how this GRI will fit into such scenario. Secondly,
okay.
Secondly, does India thinking or planning to launch such standards through any private or government organization in near future?
Yeah, actually, we talk about India. We have already discussed, for reporting of the sustainability, BRSR is already in vogue. So, business responsibility and sustainability reporting. So, top 1,000 organizations by their capital share, they are required to report for that BRSR standard annually. Okay, that is SEBI guideline, and the BRSR standard is also available for downloading in SEBI website. So what was the another question? Can you repeat first question? This is second
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. The first question is how this GRI will fit into such scenario. That is, every country has its own way of working environment and resource adequacy.
Yeah,
So
these are actually, these are voluntary standards basically. Now why people are reporting on ESG in India? They are reporting because their venture capital provider are asking, or their customers in some other countries, they are asking to present their reports. So it is based on that, and as a mandatory requirement, it has to be started from a very small scale. So 1,000 previously lower number of companies were included, now it has been raised to 1,000. So same way, it will keep on increasing, because whenever any new thing has to be implemented, there has to be capacity building, there has to be understanding of the people. So all things come into vogue, then only. If people do not understand, then you just can't depose. Like if you see in case of energy also, first of all, they had captured only 378 378 industries only in the beginning. Now they are scaling, widening and deepening the scope. Everybody, every energy related person can understand. So these are voluntary standards, and GRI has given that there are other frameworks also, SASB, then other than TCFD has recently been disbanded. So there are about 200, reporting, but GRI is the most popular, and people which is popular amongst the countries across. So it is voluntary standard. It's not, there is no, by virtue of any law, only 1,000 top listed companies, that too not on ESG or sustainability or GRI, they have to report based on the BRSR standard. Okay, that clears your question, Mr. Amit?
I hope, Mr. Amit, that answers your questions. And again, the question is from Mr. Amit Sharma. He is asking, what is the basic difference between universal sector and topic standards?
Universal, there is no universal sector. One is universal standard.
Universal sector
Standard,
and topic.
yeah. No, there is no. Okay, universal sector. Yeah. Okay, as I just let me go back. So this is the framework how GRI is architecture of GRI reporting. So these are GRI standards. You have universal standards, sector standard, and topic standard. So these three standards, requirement and principles for using GRI standards, disclosure about the reporting organization, then disclosure and guidance about the organization material topics. So these are mandated to be, if you are using GRI framework for reporting your sustainability, all these three standards requirement have to be fulfilled in your report. That is one thing. And these are the guiding documents. Sector standard, as I explained to you, there are only 3 sector standard presently available, though here if you find about 8 or this again, they are working on these standards. But presently you have oil and sector, coal, and then one agriculture standard is available. So when you do not, for the activities of the organization or for your sector, if this out of these 3, none of the sector standard is applicable, then you have to see your individual activities and check in the topic standards, and the material topics of the topic standard will have to be included, and you have to include material topics as given in the topic standard or sector standard mandatorily in the report. Or if you are not including, you have to give the justification and reason for not including. So is it clear, or you need some further explanation?
I hope it is clear, Mr. Amit. And now another question is from Mr. Thomas George. So he says, excellent session. And
Thank you.
how is ESG reporting by a company validated? for venture capital purposes in India? And are there any accredited energy agencies for this certification?
So actually, it is based on the the people have done different courses. So there is the most expensive is the Ireland diploma, 6-month diploma, that is costing about 4 lakh rupees. So those kind of companies are there, and there may be some other company now. Some Delhi University is also conducting at a very low price, about 3,000 rupees. It is 2-month course. So that is the requirement. There is no accreditation requirement for at present in India for ESG reporting. So there are companies who have experience. Based on that, they are given the job of reporting. There is no accreditation requirement till now for ESG reporting.
Yeah, I hope it is clear, Mr. George. And now one of the very senior member from the energy fraternity in Maharashtra. So Mr. Dhanay Kande is asking all these and GR reporting explained by Shri Satvinder Singh is in very simple language. Yeah, so very effective presentation. Congratulations, congratulations. That's what. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So he's also chairman of Prerana Energy Society in Pune.
Okay, right.
So, are there any further questions? And secondly, this today's webinar was also in association co-organized is ISHRE Nagpur chapter, that is Indian Society for Heating, Air Conditioning, Air Refrigeration Engineering. So some of our members from ISHRE have also joined today's program. So thank you so much, ISHRE Nagpur chapter, for members for attending this webinar, and hope you continue to be part of this series also. Are there any further questions? No, there are no further questions. So thank you, Mr. Satvinder ji, once again.
Thank you very much for allowing me an opportunity to interact.
Yeah, Mr. Satvinder is from AEEWI Delhi chapter, and hope we continue this association in future also.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, sir. Thanks everyone for attending this webinar, and see you all in the next, that is on 24th of May, the second session of this month. Thank you very much. Goodbye.